is the pole trap effective? I think the design is a very common design. It should work, but I think the problem is in the bait. I think they're not really detecting it if it's too far. So I guess that's why they're still working on this project. So there's one experiment that I was doing inside the building, and I inoculated larvae in there, and I thought I shut the door with a piece of paper, I believe, at that time. When I went back the following day, I saw larvae crawling out the door, and I checked the soil by the door, the outside. They are there. They were looking for soil outside, so they can travel a long way.
At the moment, is there any really effective bait or attractant available for the beetles that you could use that they really are drawn to that?
This is a good question for our sister's chemistry lab, the sister lab, and they're still working on it. Recently they found that the extract from pears. So I compared this UK lure to the pollen dough bait. I added banana scent, apple cider, because this is known to attract beetles. Kumafos, because it's the registered control measure for small hive beetles. But the results are just, for scientists, it's yucky. It's not good. So I cannot really tell you which one is the best, although you can see there's peaks here, but they are not different. They're all the same. They all have beetles. They were able to trap. As I've said, this is a bad result, probably because I only used 30 colonies. I should have used probably 100 to get a good result. So this one, in this one I use more. I use 55 here. And this time I use Super Boost, because Super Boost is a brood pheromone. So I thought if they feed on brood, if I put Super Boost, they'd probably be attracted to it. And I included slow release ethanol, because they use this to trap other beetles in the forest, and also because of the fermenting process in slimy colonies. So this should attract it. And this is what I found. UK lure again didn't really show good promise there. USDA tend to be the best, and it's better if you add the slow release and the Super Boost. So there's this synergistic effect there. Super Boost encourages, I guess it increases honey production, so it's available. Yeah. I don't know which company.
Slow release ethanol.
Is it out of Canada? Super Boost?
Yes, yeah. Slow release ethanol is also available. Actually, in the slime out combs, and also they did analyze the yeast. There are different compounds that they found out, and one of them is the alarm pheromone. So they're probably queuing on that, the alarm pheromone.
How many of you guys have had a dead out? Raise your hand.
I mean, if not.
Okay,
90%.
Okay, no, that's what I know. I saw the results from the thing, but I wanted to see from the people that were here, because in Oahu, I mean, people are still just beginning. I mean, we know that it's there, but we haven't seen it. So some of these things, I mean, I'm just surprised that people aren't more freaked out. If I were you, I'd be like, ah.
You'll see it.
Yes, you have to remove your dead outs, because one dead out alone can issue thousands and thousands of beetles. So if they get out and go into the soil, pupate, you have thousands and thousands of adults that will come out. If you have a freezer, a small chest freezer, you can freeze them, or you just burn them right away. Just select those that have that are slightly slime out. You can wash them, put them in soapy water, bleach. You can reuse them. But for those slimy, very yucky, you can burn them. Yes, ma'am.
I was wondering if using diatomaceous earth all over the property, would that help?
I actually, my son, who is in high school, did that for his high school, for his science fair project. It did work. So they were able to pupate. Yeah, there's a layer of diatomaceous lime and then soil, half. They were able to go through and pupate into the soil. Although there's one commercial beekeeper in Louisiana who uses it in the honey house only, not in the yard. Only around surrounding the honey house, and he likes it.
So they went to the lime as well?
When they pupate, because they look for soil to pupate, because I've seen the honey house, the warehouse, just like what you saw. If you open the door, you can see the movement of. You said, "Oh, the ground is moving." They're actually larvae, just moving, and they go out and seek soil to pupate. And if there's that lime surrounding the building, they will dry out. That's the larvae will dry out. You can probably do that in your honey house, but I don't know if you only have 2 colonies, probably. But not really if you have 100. It's not. Yes.
Do you think diatomaceous earth helps with the actual beetle? We've used it as like in the bottom board screen traps, but not the larva, the beetle.
I guess there are some beekeepers who uses it with the West Beetle, the bottom board trap.
The diatomaceous earth is just as rough,
Yeah.
Yes.
so it won't affect the beetle because they're so hard shelled anyway.
Oh, the adults, you mean?
No, I'm talking about the adults. They
Oh
should
no,
affect-
it's for larvae. I'll try to remove propolis, or because they use propolis, or what we call the corals, to hide. And if you go through your colony, try to clean it just to get rid of all these hiding places for them. Again, keep colonies strong. If you have queenless colonies, queenlessness will attract beetles. Sign of stress. If you can unite them, if you weak colonies or queenless colonies, just unite them using the newspaper technique. And also, if you have queens that are drone layers, just pinch the queen. Just try to requeen it, because the drone brood, Varroa likes drone brood, and also with little amount of brood. If the queen is just laying drone brood, the bee population will decline. When they're weak, that's the time beetles will take over. Don't stack supers, of course, especially don't put brood on top supers if the bees cannot take care of them, because they will not go on top. With the presence of brood, the beetles will have a feast. Again, place colonies under the sun. This is also good for varroa mites and also for tracheal mites. So good for small hive beetles, for the 3 of them. I don't know if you have tracheal mites here. But for varroa, it works for varroa. Again, when feeding with some pollen patties, just provide just enough to be consumed in 2 days. Because 5 days, if you still have patties for 5 days, you have this wandering larvae already. Clean, if you're using feeders like this one here, be sure to clean them. If there are dead bees in here. These dead bees are sources of protein for them, so they will continue laying eggs, reproducing there.
How often do you clean them?
How often? Every time you feed them, how often you feed them, you go service them. So it's better if you clean when you service them. If you have wet supers, or be sure that your honey houses are clean. Storing pollen, if you have chest freezers, that would be the best. Don't put them just right there in your in one corner, especially with pollen and brood. They will go for that. You're gonna have a lot of larvae on the ground, on your floor in 5 days. Extracting honey, you should do it in 2 days at least. If you wait for 5 days, there will be a massive hatching of eggs. If you harvest your honey, it would be nice if you can harvest it, spin it right away, extract honey right away. Yeah, and return the wet supers right away. If you leave the wet supers there, they will still lay eggs there. Of course, be sure to treat for mites and other diseases, because if you don't, the colonies will weaken, and that's, again, the beetles will take over. If you have happy bees, you have happy beekeepers.